Well, there we go. I know the listeners can't see it, but I've changed my background to a Tiger's Jaw gig for you two. There they are.
Nice.
Very nice.
So,
I liked it. I thought it was really cool. Really, really cool.
But honestly, they are a bit different, but they if you listen to that earlier stuff, which this isn't what this show's about, but Plane versus Tank versus Submarine, if you listen to that, it's for me, it's like a sequential pop punk track. But
nice.
they're really, really unique, really cool, got a really good cult following. It's an interesting one. They are very, very interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, they were quite chilled pop punk. I quite liked it, They still had their energy.
It's on that
drums.
indie front, right? It's sort of it's that middle ground, isn't it, between the emo. So for me, it's I genuinely think emo indie or emo pop punk and indie is the kind of where my music taste is going a little bit. It's a bit more mature. It's not just about, as I mentioned in the last one, about how chasing the girl, being popular at school, all that kind of stuff. No, it's beyond that. I think it's really, really cool. I like it personally.
Yeah, it's very cool. I had heard of Tiger's Jaw a few years back. I never really listened to them, but
they've been around for a while.
Being around for a while,
Yeah.
So they've really cut out their niche. It seems it's cool. I mean, like you say, it's very much like a grown-up sort of emo pop punky vibe, but closer. Well, I guess you have that catchy aspect of it as well, which is nice. So it's a little. Exactly. It's a little more friendly, I think, than some other things, but it's quite an approachable poppy kind of rock, which I think is nice.
I know what you're saying. I think it goes back to what I was saying last week about commercial viability almost being based on whether you could imagine it being heard on a radio on a main stage at a festival. And I think that kind of fits into that band a little bit. It's probably a little bit further away from what these people who are actually in charge are looking for, but you can imagine it being commercially viable. And I know it's not about being commercially viable or anything, but they do have that sound where it could be a commercial success.
Absolutely.
Which I think shows their talent and that they've evolved and things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's hard to write a catchy song. It's hard to write a song that makes you want to sing along without trying to make it sound.
I mean, what would be interesting, and I don't know if this is all right with you guys, but if we just played the start of Plane versus Tank versus Submarine, you'd see a complete difference. And maybe we could do that next week. But I mean, it is a massive difference, but it's still the same band, and I respect that. When they evolve, but their sound changes, but it stays to their roots. I got a lot of time for that.
What I really liked about them, I just had a quick look actually on Wikipedia about their page and find out a bit more information about them. So they've been around since 2005. I mean,
been around.
It seemed like a very well-traveled band in that sense. But do you know where they're from? Any idea? No.
Sorry, what did you say?
I looked it up. So
Scranton office.
Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is where the office is based. Love that. Brilliant. I bet Michael Scott was a fan.
Well, I'm an Office UK fan, so what can I say?
Oh, no.
Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties. My headphones are so posh that when you press the wrong button, it says noise cancellation 5 and 0. And I was trying to, it cuts you guys off. So I'm there trying to change it. And it's just...
Hello.
Sorry. I heard the Office reference, but yeah, my bad. My headphones are too posh. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but Ben, that was a good choice. I really like that. That was good. That was a good intro to the playlist.
Nice and easy listening.
Yeah. So out of 10, I'm going to rate that a 7. I actually really liked that song. I thought it was really good. And you know what? I thought I was a little bit mean with my ratings last week, and I think I'm going to try and be good moving forward because I don't think realistically if I stick and keep my my exchange rate low on my ratings, then I don't think I'm ever going to find 8, 9, or 10, to be honest. So I'm going to rate this a 7 out of 10. I do like this.
Thanks, Mike.
Very generous.
I appreciate that. Yeah. How do you want your money sent to you? How do you want
PayPal,
your bribe
please, mate.
sent to you?
Yeah, just do it as friends and family, because otherwise we get charged. We don't want to do that.
SEROTONeIN Show at gmail.com, right?
Yeah. Remember the E in serotonin. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, it's on its way. Jacopo, we haven't discussed specifics yet, but you know.
Go on, Jacopo. Tell us.
Right. So I think, unlike Mike, I was quite generous last week with my ratings.
I agree.
So I think I will be a little more conservative this time around. So I think I'm going to give this a 6.5. You know, well-constructed song. For me, it doesn't have a particular impact personally, but it's a nice song. So 6.5.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Well, I mean, do you know what? Honestly, it's really interesting giving these songs, because I said last week that I have no idea about making music, playing music, singing music, none of that. So for me, I like a song because I like the sound of it. It's purely on that kind of audible level. Whereas you guys understand the kind of deeper workings of song making, playing instruments and stuff like that. So it's actually really interesting when I put across my songs to hear your input. And it genuinely is, because for me, it could be like the worst guitar, the worst drums that you've ever heard in your life. No talent to it whatsoever, but because I like the sound of it, But you guys can get that deeper level. So I do.
Ben, ultimately, that's all that's important, really, isn't it, with music?
Oh, it is. Trust me.
If you like the sound of it, it does. Also, at the same time, it doesn't have to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's the beauty of the three of us. We all have our different tastes. Same genre as such, the metal, alternative rock, punk kind of vibe, but we all have our sort of kind of different approaches to it and different sounds. And it's good that, like you said, if you listen to something that could be awfully produced and awful recording, but you like the sound of it, that's cool.
But I don't think it's just about production. I think it's about recognizing as well quality where there is quality. And I've noticed personally, I listen to different kinds of music for different reasons. So, for example, if I listen to blues and some of the great blues guitarists of the past, I do it not necessarily, and it's not to criticize the music because I enjoy it, but it's not something that I listen to just for the enjoyment of listening to it. But I also try to learn something from it from a guitar perspective. So it's done from a kind of educational perspective as well. So I think listening to music in a very pure way, like Ben was saying earlier, I think is important as well. And of course, being a musician always stays with you, but I don't think that's the only way, the only lens through which you can view music.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think that the fact that you have more of an expert knowledge on it is amazing, but I guess in your releasing music, you've got to understand that not everybody's going to understand it to the same level. So there is that kind of like kinesthetic, just on the ground surface, what it sounds like is important to a lot of people, right? Because if you listen to, like, I'll give you the perfect example. Have you heard that Driver's License song that's like top of the charts at the moment?
Yes.
I forget who it's by.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that song. Oh, I got my driver's license last week. Something like that, right? It's awful.
Yeah.
But it's catchy, and I hate that song with a passion, but it still gets stuck in my head. Do you know what I mean? And that is the importance of good songwriting, I think, is that
that's powerful.
Do you know what? It pisses me off. Every time that song comes on, it gets stuck in my head, and I hate it. I really hate it.
There are songs like that. There are going to be a lot of songs like that, especially on the radio, where you're just constantly repeating the same hook or repeating a certain, phrase of words, and then next thing you know, you're like, you'll be walking down the street and just singing it. I'm like, it's not even my music. I don't even listen. I can listen to a rock song 100 times, and it may not get stuck in my head, but I listen to that once, bam, it's in my head.
Yeah.
It's not there, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a talent to write these kinds of hooks as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in some circumstances, a good song is a good song. And if you take it down to its bare elements, I think a good example of this might be something, quite cliche, but like We Will Rock You, which if someone starts going, boom, boom, that, you're immediately drawn into it and everyone can sing it and you still get, I guess, some sort of enjoyment. It's not the same as listening to the song, but you still understand the essential aspect of the song, which everyone knows, recognizes, and I guess to some extent loves, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And do you know what? One of the big ones for me, pop song by a band I'd never ever listened to apart from this song, but is an absolute pop banger, catchy in all the right places, is Pure Shores by All Saints. Heard that song? Absolutely.
Yeah, I do know.
That is a tune. That is an absolute tune.
Guilty pleasure.
It is. And do you know what the other one is? This is going to ruin my reputation completely, whatever I had everyone. But Black Magic, I think it's called, by Little
Bruno
Mix.
Mars, isn't it?
No, Little Mix.
Right, okay.
Secret potion. I
want to hear your version of it. That'll be amazing.
It's going to be screamo.
If I have your voice in my head all day, I'm cool with that.
I'm up with that. I can hit a few notes. I can't.
All right,
then we can carve out a career for you.
Yeah, we can. We'll do it. Yeah.
Covering pop songs.
I want to be headlining Glastonbury in 3 years' time. Make it happen, boys.
No, I've got a guilty pleasure, and mine is Sound of the Underground by Girls Aloud, because it has such a cool bass line. It's like, it's like, this is cool, but then it's obviously Girls Aloud, and then I realised that I'm not cool. But yeah, that's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's actually always coming on shuffle, and I'm like, you know what? I'll listen to it.
See, I have a whole playlist on Spotify called Guilty Pleasures, which is, full of great stuff.
Well, Jacopo,
I don't know, Groove Jet, some vintage stuff like that.
As While She Sleeps says, welcome to the guilty party. Great song.
Very nice, very nice.
All right, Ben, we've gone off topic. Let me know what your score is on that song. You chose it, so it's in your hands.
Good point, yeah. For me, I really like that. And do you know what? I'm going to give it extra marks because it's new Tiger's Jaw. They've been going since 2005. They've been going for 15 years and they're still producing good stuff. So I'm going to give that a 7.7.
Ooh, nice.
Do you know what? Because it's just as good, if not better than their older stuff. And you've got to admire that because a lot of bands tail off, don't they? And I don't think they have recently. So, yeah.
Well, that's got a total score of 2120 so far. So let's see if anything else can beat that. We've got next that I've chosen, Architects, which I've been excited to share this track because it's from their new album, for those that wish to exist. And it only came out, I think last month. And I think this is the second single they've released from the track. I think there's a third single they've literally just released. But this one, I remember listening to it going, I really want to share this track. It's really, really good, especially as I really like their new sound. But we'll talk about that afterwards. This one's Meteor